So, we're just gonna skim over the whole ignoring me outside threes?
How's Florence?
She's the best, man. She's still super hot, super chill. She's the best.
Married yet?
Basically, she moved in a month after you and Kelsey left. Ah, shit, dude, I'm sorry. I figured since it's still fresh.
With projecting, we start off with the rock climbing and the over and over and over again, unwilling to give up. He does it in different ways and makes it to the top, and you can see all this effort. And the first thing I'm thinking is, okay, what does this wall represent? This wall has to represent something because he is so desperate to conquer it. Then the friend comes and it's almost like, we're discussing the end of the relationship. He doesn't want to talk about it. It goes back and forth. The dialogue is very realistic as far as the conversation goes between friends, because it is, it can be friendly in one moment. Y'all could laugh. And then the next moment it can be confrontational. And the next moment it can be emotional, and it can go right back to being friendly again. Because, that's what happens with friends. They're a safe space for you to feel like you can express the myriad of emotions that you may have at any given moment. And it does seem like in some moments, he wanted to be miserable, and he wanted misery he wanted to have company. And his friend was not really allowing him to do that. It is difficult to be around someone who is being positive when you want everyone to be negative with you. But what I really loved was that friend was not allowing him to wallow in self-pity. He was like, I'm gonna listen to you. I'm going to let you beat up on me because that's what you need, but I'm not going to let you sit here in this depression by yourself. And it really just showed good friendship. And then I felt towards the end, when he finally went to attack the wall again and wasn't able to, and then finally at the very, very end, he's able to attack the wall, but still falls. Then I realized what the wall is. The wall is life. The wall is life. You're never going to give up on the wall. You're never going to give up on life. And there's going to be moments where you're going to fall. There's going to be moments where you're going to stumble. There's going to be moments where it seems like your footing is lost. There's going to be moments where you get to the top and it's great. And there's going to be moments you're going to get to the top and you're still going to fall back down. And that's just what life is. And I was like, that's kind of what this wall is. It's his life. His life right now is at a low point, but it doesn't mean it won't be at a high point again. It doesn't mean he can't climb out of it.
I thought this one was a really good relationship drama. Really told well. Some great writing here. Felt authentic and grounded. The performances were spot on. We definitely, got a sense of the history of these two. And despite it all being filmed in this one room, which is an interesting backdrop, it didn't feel like we were confined. Like the world definitely felt bigger and as though it existed outside this one space. So just a really keen filmmaking sensibility, good narrative here. Really just a lot of elements came together, gelled really well here to just make a tidy, strong little film. So everyone involved should be really happy with this one.
I love how he kind of uses climbing and the chalk as avoidance tactics. Whenever the conversation is going a direction he doesn't like, he either runs to the wall to climb or puts his hand in the chalk. It's kind of a good physical tactic that we often turn to, but his friend is the one who calls him out on it, and lets him know it's okay to have feelings at the end, which I thought was cute. He kind of started coming back, it seemed. I think that I could be happier, even though it upset the protagonist, I think it kind of was the point of that piece, we all could be happier. And sometimes we settle and sometimes we don't, and we don't know people's stories, and are we going to settle with being happy or not, and are we okay with our lives? Are we okay with keeping shoes that smell, or is it time to move on? That moment was also really funny, the dude, your shoes reek.
Projecting is
very interesting, just in the topic of, I feel like it tackles the notion of, well, projecting, but basically the element of the man who has nothing versus the man who has everything. Basically, everything that our main guy wants, his friend has, and he tries to bottle it up, keep a smile, and say that everything's okay, and he's not upset at all. Which brings in the challenge that the friend says, which is, it's okay not to be upset. And I think what was also very interesting is just the symbolism behind the rock wall, which is, while he was bottling it up, he couldn't climb the wall. No matter how hard he tried, he could not climb this wall. But the moment he snapped, the moment he made that outburst, he made the most progress he did in the entire short, which I think is very symbolic of how healthy steps will do leagues when it comes to progress. It was a very interesting watch, a very thought-provoking watch, and definitely made me think.
I really liked this film. I really appreciated this slice of life story, and I was excited about something that focused on male friendship. I feel like that's not a story that we see often. I thought that there were some quips that were really funny, like when they're talking about free solo, and I just felt like it was really true to life. I loved this setting of, putting it in a rock climbing gym, that this was a place that they shared together, and sort of this is almost like neutral territory for them to have like a meaningful conversation.
This one I thought had some solid lead performances. There was a clear conflict that I felt was expressed through both well-written dialogue and generally believable dialogue. There was a really nice use here of a limited setting. The whole film only takes place within a single room, but it's a room where a lot can happen and where quite a bit does happen. Really nice lighting choices throughout this. Very moody, which is something that I always appreciate, something that I always take note of, as well as just the way the shots were framed. I think all of that helped the film quite a bit. The use of the rock wall in this is both a backdrop and as a set piece, I also thought was done quite nicely. And despite just being a conversation between two characters, the film does have a sense of progression and momentum, which is something that I really enjoyed as well. So ending on a high note, I thought that this one was very solid, and I enjoyed it.
Projecting was really, really interesting. I think it's always nice to see a well-done film about relationships, and especially, a friendship. Not everything deep and sentimental has to be through a romantic relationship, and I think this piece is, proof of that. But it also shows, how much we rely on each other and how we can project our feelings on other people or other activities or, objects and refusing to get rid of them and letting go of the past, not getting rid of like these disgusting old shoes versus, moving on and moving forward and experiencing your feelings and, recognizing that there could be some negative feeling there. You could be happier. You could always be more of, anything. But, accepting your feelings at the moment and then moving on from there. And, having someone to lean upon and help you realize that. And I think that was a really great job. This piece does just an incredible job of highlighting that and highlighting that relationship. And it's done really well. It was just a really lovely piece. Very well done.